Welcome, explorers. Today, we're on a mission to master the secret language of maps. This is a skill every single great adventurer needs. And believe it or not, it all starts with one really big question.
Have you ever really thought about that? How on earth do you take our massive, round planet and shrink it down so it fits on a piece of paper or a screen? Well, it turns out the answer is a single, super powerful concept, and it's the key that unlocks every single map you will ever see. So, here's our mission briefing for today. First, we'll cover how we get the world onto paper. Then, we'll decode map skills. We're going to figure out the difference between a large view and a small one, get you set up with your Explorer's Toolkit, and then finish up with some final facts to make sure you're ready for anything. All right, let's dive right in. Our first stop is the one fundamental idea that makes every single map possible. Get this down, and you're well on your way. The big secret is something called scale. You can almost think of it like a shrink ray for the entire planet. The scale of a map tells you exactly how much the real world has been shrunk down to fit in your hands. It's the absolute crucial link between the map you're holding and the actual ground beneath your feet. Now, every good explorer needs to know how to read the codes, right? Well, map makers or cartographers use three main ways to show a map's scale, and we are about to crack every single one of them. So take a look here. A map scale usually shows up in one of three forms: as words, as a ratio, or as a little ruler called a line scale. You can think of them as three different languages that are all saying the exact same thing. Here's how you turn map distance into real-world distance. First up is the word scale. This one is the most straightforward, hands down. It just tells you in plain English what a distance on the map equals in reality. Something like 1 centimeter equals 10 kilometers. See? No tricky math, just a simple, clear statement. Next, we've got the ratio scale. Now, this might look a little more like a math problem, but its power is that it works for anything. A ratio of 1 to 50,000 means one unit on the map is 50,000 of the same unit in the real world. So 1 centimeter on the map equals 50,000 centimeters in reality, or 1 inch equals 50,000 inches. It's a universal translator for distance. Pretty cool, huh? And finally, there's the line scale. Some people call it a bar scale. This one is your best friend when you're actually using the map. It is literally a ruler printed right on the page. You can just take out your own ruler, measure a piece of the bar, and it will tell you exactly what that distance is in the real world. Super practical. Okay, so not all missions are the same, and neither are maps. You've got to pick the right tool for the job. Sometimes you need a satellite view to see the whole country, and other times you need a magnifying glass to see every street in a neighborhood. This is where we need to understand large-scale versus small-scale maps. And here you can see the difference perfectly. The small-scale map on the left shows a huge area, right? An entire country. It gives you the big picture, but you're not seeing any of the tiny details. Then look at the large-scale map on the right. It's zoomed way in. It shows a small area, like a town, but with tons of detail. Every park, every road. Okay, now here's the one part that can feel a little backwards, so listen close. A small-scale map shows a large area, and a large-scale map shows a small area. I know, weird, right? But think of it like a fraction. A small scale, like 1 divided by 10 million, is a teeny tiny number. That means the real world was shrunk down a huge amount. But a large scale, like 1 divided by 1,000, is a much bigger fraction, meaning you're way more zoomed in. Okay, you have learned the codes, you know the theory. Now it is time to actually put this knowledge to work. Let's get your Explorer's Toolkit ready and learn how to turn those lines on a map into actual real-world distances. This is it, your core skill. And it's just 3 easy steps. First, grab a ruler and measure the distance between 2 spots on your map. Let's say it's 5 centimeters. Step 2, look at the scale. Maybe it's a word scale that says 1 centimeter equals 10 kilometers. And step 3, you just multiply. 5 centimeters times 10 kilometers per centimeter gives you 50 kilometers. That's it. Simple, effective, and absolutely essential. Fantastic. You can now measure distance. But to complete your training, you also have to know how to describe a location. So this is your final mission intelligence brief. These are the critical facts you need to know for any exam. So listen up. Let's lock in 2 of the most important lines on any map of the world. First is the equator. It runs flat around the middle of the Earth, splitting it into the northern and southern hemispheres. It's a line of latitude. A good way to remember is latitude is flatitude. Then you have the Greenwich meridian.
It's a long line that runs from the North Pole to the South Pole, dividing the world into the eastern and western hemispheres. That's a line of longitude. So let's use this in the real world. Take a look at this map of Africa. See the line marked 0 degrees running side to side? That's the equator. Now find the 0-degree line running up and down. That's the Greenwich Meridian. So where is South Africa? Well, it's below the equator, so it's in the southern hemisphere, and it's to the right of the meridian, so it's in the eastern hemisphere. See how that works?
All right, lightning round. These are your final must-know exam tips. Ready? Latitude is always measured north or south. Longitude is always east or west. When you give coordinates for location, you always say the latitude first, then the longitude. And that big book of maps you might have, it's called an atlas. Got it? Awesome.
If you remember just one thing from our entire mission today, let it be this. It all comes back to scale. The scale is the bridge connecting the paper map to the real world. If you understand the scale, you can understand any map. And with that, your training is complete. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have officially learned the secret language that can unlock the entire world. So the only question left is, where are you going to explore first?